Julie. Welcome back to Time Bomb. We're moving through it. We're on part 3, video 3, also known as part 3, module 3. We refer to everything as modules in this course. And on in this particular module, we are talking about ranking and prioritization. So in the last module, you went through and you did an audit of your tasks. It may be a minute since you've actually tuned into video because that exercise can take you up to a week to complete. So hopefully you have that list of everything that you've worked through. And now we can go through the prioritization exercise. So here's the deal with prioritization. We're going to use a method that is called, it's the ABCD method. And we've added a couple of extra letters in there. So if you go back to the spreadsheet and you look at the tab where you have your tasks all listed, there is a column for prioritizing. Here's the deal. It's pre-filled with these options. And so you just have to select the option for each task listed. We've got, I want to give you what the definitions mean so that you understand. All right. So we're using the ABCD method. A task. So if you list something as an A, it's the most important task. This task, it must be done. It must be done by you. This is an important, critical task for you. B tasks, they're less important than A tasks, but they still need to be done by you, and they have to be done, right? You can't eliminate them. C tasks are tasks where there's no consequences if they're not done. They're nice, but they're not necessary. So this is important because this is an area where you may be able to find some time in your day if you can do something with these C tasks. D tasks are for delegation. So anything that you've listed as a task that you currently do that you could delegate to someone else. And this is a good time to make sure you understand when we say delegation, and this is on the term sheet, but I just want to go over it for you. Delegation, you're giving it to somebody internally that works in your company. Outsourcing, which we're going to talk about in a minute, it's someone outside of your company. Okay. D is delegating internally. O is outsourcing externally. All right. So D tasks are marked for delegation. E tasks are tasks that you can just eliminate. They don't even need to be done. And O tasks are tasks that you are going to outsource to somebody else. All right. So what we want to do is start with your business tasks and look at every single task you have listed there that you do regularly, that you capture during the time audit. And you need to give it either an A, B, C, D, E, or O ranking. And I need you to really, really think about the rankings as you're going through, because our tendency is to think everything is an A, everything is critical and everything must be done by me. But trust me, if you list everything as an A, you're wasting your time even finishing this course. Not everything is a priority. Not everything is an A. So don't list everything that way. Now, once you go through all of the tasks, do it for business, do it for personal, and please don't outsource date night. Please, please don't. We do not need angry spouses calling on us and asking us why we told their significant other to outsource date night. So don't outsource date night. You need to do that for the sake of your relationship and your own happiness and maybe your health and well-being. All right. Now take a look at everything that you have marked for delegation. All of the D's, and you should look at the O's as well, right? And look at those tasks and start to think about who could be doing them, right? So delegation, we're going to come back to this later in part 4, but just for right now, make sure that the D's and the O's, that you can reasonably hand them off to somebody else or pay someone else to do them if it's an outsourcing type thing. Can also think about, outsourcing works in your personal and your business life. So make sure that you're thinking about it from both perspectives. And think about outsourcing. You could think about swapping of services, right? A lot of times we don't think about this, but if I'm remarkably good at creating social media content and I suck at writing blogs, I could swap services with somebody. If I have a friend who's a copywriter, they could write my blogs for me and I could create their social media assets for them. So it's an easy swap. Well, it doesn't necessarily free up all your time. It does free up some time because you're way more efficient at some things than you are at others. So try and find ways to get rid of the things that you're not as efficient at. And then key is those e-tasks, right? Tasks that you can eliminate. Those are really important because you want to get rid of tasks that you can eliminate in total. So keep focused on the eliminating tasks and what you can do to remove them in total from your plate. I apologize for the stuttering over this because I am, thinking through if I've got a task that's listed as an E for eliminate, is it really a task that needs to be delegated or outsourced, or really one that we can stop doing altogether? And a good way to look at this is to think about it from the perspective of, is it revenue generating? Does it impact revenue? So if you're currently doing something, and let's say, excuse me, I'm going to use writing blogs as an example here. Let's say that you write a blog and you publish a blog 5 days a week. Is that blog helping you with revenue, right? Is it bringing people to your website? Is it helping raise your credibility as an expert? Is it helping people, your target audience, to solve problems, to get answers to things? The answer is yes. Then you probably need to keep doing blogs because they're essentially a marketing tool for you for revenue generation. But if nobody's reading them, if they're not even really on the topics of what it is that you do as a business, then you should reconsider if they're necessary. So I could outsource writing blogs. I could swap services with somebody. I could delegate it to somebody on my team, or I could just eliminate it in total. And so that's what you really want to think through, is the outsourcing, the delegating, the eliminating, right? And make sure that you are scrutinize everything that you have listed as an A and a B, right? And a C, right? C's could a C be easily delegated? Could a C be easily eliminated? And remember, the C tasks are tasks that it's cool if they don't get done. They're important, but they're not so important that they're absolutely, necessary to complete in a timely fashion. So they're nice, but they're not necessary. All right. Then what we want to do is you want to go through, again, business, personal, go through that same exercise for everything, A, B, C, D, E, or O. And then you want to think about, once you have all of those done, the tasks that remain, you want to group like tasks together. So the reason you want to group like tasks together for your A's and B's and C's that are left is because this saves you time when you're actually executing on those tasks. So we've got, in part 4, everything on planning and execution. But what's important on the planning part is, if you can plan to do all of your like tasks at the same time, you can avoid this thing known as context switching. So context switching is when you move from one task to another task, back to the other task, over to another task, to a different task. And each time you're losing momentum, you're losing time, and you're losing focus because your brain has to start thinking about something else. So context switching is a big time waster and it slows down our efficiency. So the way that you can avoid that is by grouping like tasks together, and also by completing tasks in total before you move on to something else. That helps with context switching. So we now have all of our tasks prioritized. We have identified tasks for the potential of delegation, outsourcing, and elimination. And we have grouped our like tasks that remain for us, the A's, the B's, and the C's. And you're going to group tasks by sorting on your workbook. And Corey shows us how to do that again in part 3 mod 4, which is the next video. So I will see you again in the next, in part 4, where we start talking about actual delegation and where we talk about planning and execution. As always, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Watch the video a couple of times. There's a lot of information in here. We want to make sure you get everything you need, because trust us, this stuff works.